Hello. There were many things we wonder about in life, and one of the things that's confused me for many years is why I was the keeper of my car. I think there's 35 million Brits also who are the keeper of their car. So what has this got to do with medical issues? Well, it was when I discovered that you could be the owner of your car by registering it with the common law court that things changed. I then also found out that at birth, or from birth, we have a legal fiction created about us. And this has a great impact on what we own, sort of like our body's sovereignty. That would be one area. It's a bit confusing, so I thought, well, let's just look at my passport. My passport, as in maritime. So this enables me, with a name that's in capitals, to travel freely. But when you look at other things, such as your driving license, your ability to travel, your debit cards, credit cards, legal bills, you'll find that they all have your name in capitals. And I thought this was odd, until I realised that was because the courts and countries are capital jurisdictions. They are there for commerce, and they're there for maritime courts that can only use you as a legal fiction, a straw man, with your name in capitals, Exhibit A, and that if you register your name, your born certificate as I call it, and you obtain your legal fiction, this fake entity from birth, that you can then obtain one of these, my common law court card, and you obtain your legal fiction. So this sort of progresses on to some other issues that I wasn't quite awake to. I first learned of unnecessary deaths in some places about 4 years ago, and that was a little bit traumatic, and I would say I went through a bit of ranty PTSD, coming at the end of a very dark tunnel. I then started getting into vaccines because I read in this book, I think page 239 from memory, give or take, HPV, a vaccine too soon. So that was a few years ago. There was the warning, why is it coming? And now, since the 1st of September, for boys. So then I read that from Australia, fast-tracked and flawed. Then I met the author of this book and looked at the increasing rates in the most vaccinated countries among girls 20 to 24. Gerard Delapine, we looked in the Cancer UK database. And then we looked at the authors citing 500 papers, clinical papers, medical papers in this book, and the injuries and deaths around the world in 500 pages. And then, reach across, I met Norma Erickson from Trust to Tragedy, more stories of HPV harms, and then a mere 700 pages or 693 pages of this book. Thank you, Christina England. And then, of course, we started looking what is actually in this vaccine, because no one seems to be doing that. We then submitted this information to the common law court after we'd obtained our legal fiction. And then we based that information on what Corvelva and others had submitted to the Treviso police. So it's getting serious. More so as on the 1st of September, we convened a common law court in Manchester, where we had, well, they didn't actually appear, but 3 defendants, which were health ministers and a director of public health. And the court found those people guilty and of certain criminal collusion and crimes against the people. So it's getting very serious, and I just wish I could get a crime number for this on the Isle of Man. But I think we've been here before, and this is the thing that is so strange that people have missed. We have been here before. We're jailing the wrong people, we're not asking the right questions, and we're ignoring the contents of vaccines. So much so that this book has been around 20 years. Thank you, Heather Fraser. Take a bow. And this book gave us the clue. We shouldn't be jailing the people serving up some foods. We should be asking, how does someone become allergic to peanuts? The ever-escalating vaccine schedule, that's how. And the unwitting covering up of period dysregulation post-HPV vaccination for girls everywhere when their GP puts them on the pill. So a few years' time we will find mass infertility, as has been shown since 2008, if we dare to look and ask those questions. What I would like, first of all, is an open debate for schools to realise that they are now liable individually in their private capacity should they vaccinate girls, and increasingly countries like the UK, Jersey, the Isle of Man and Ireland that from the 1st of September said HPV vaccines for boys. Let's look at the science let's acknowledge the harms. But first of all, unless you know who you are, you don't have any rights. So perhaps consider horizontal law, common law, not vertical imposed legal equivalence, because it's not. Common law, away we go. Thank you. Goodbye.